Hey guys, I'm Gracie. Welcome back to Bedtime Stories. Tonight we're going to be reading chapters 11 and 12 of Treasure Island. It was written by Robert Louis Stevenson, but it's been turned into a children's book. So, I hope you enjoy. Chapter 11, How I Began My Shore Adventure. The night was long with waiting, and by morning the appearance of the island seemed to have completely changed. My heart sank when I saw it. Everything looked gray and dreary. Even Spyglass Hill, so vivid and colorful in my dreams, was all jagged rock the same color. I should have been glad to get to land, but I hated Treasure Island right from my first look at it. We worked steadily to get the ship moored, but the work was miserable and the heat blistering. By then, the men had become mean and surly. They seemed ready to revolt, and mutiny hung over us like a thundercloud. Long John Silver put on an act that everything was normal, cheerfully accepting orders, but he seemed worried. I knew something was going on. The captain, doctor, squire, and I met in the cabin to decide the best course of action. "This whole ship is about to come apart at the seams," said the captain. "If I give one more order, the men will rebel. And if I don't, Silver will know that I know of his plan. And then we're done for." "So what can we do?" asked the squire. "I have a plan," said the captain. "Let's allow the men an afternoon ashore. Silver will want the men to be calm and not ruin his plan. Anyone on his side will come back on board as mild as lambs." And so it was decided. We told Hunter, Joyce, and Redruth what was going on, and the captain gave us each a pistol. Then the captain went on deck and spoke to the crew. "My lads," he said, "we've had a hot day and are all tired. Anyone is free to go ashore for the afternoon. I will fire the cannon at a half hour before sundown to let you know when you must return." The captain left and put Silver in charge of arranging the party. As the captain expected, Silver took over that rebellious crew as though he was captain himself. At last, the party was made up. 6 fellows were to stay on board, and the remaining 13, including Silver, would go ashore. I did not know which ones were in on Silver's plan. If only 6 men were left by Silver, it was plain our party could not take and fight the ship. It was equally plain that the cabin party had no present need of my help. So, I slipped onto one of the boats and went ashore, ducking so no one would see me. But from another boat, Silver spotted me and started calling out, "Jim! Jim, is that you?" At that moment, I began to regret what I had done. The boat I was in was lighter and got to shore, much more quickly. I grabbed a branch and swung out of the boat while Silver and the rest were still 100 yards behind. Then I ran straight on till I could run no longer. Chapter 12, The First Blow. I was so happy to have given the slip to Silver that I began to enjoy myself and explore the strange new land I was in. After a while, I came to a long thicket of trees. The marsh was steaming in the hot sun, and a cloud of birds hung screaming and circling in the air. Soon, I heard voices in the distance. One was Silver. Crawling on all fours, I made my way toward them. From the bushes, I could see Long John and another of the crew talking. "Tom," Silver was saying, "it's because I thinks the world of you that I'm trying to save your neck. We have no choice but to join them." "Silver," said Tom, "you're honest and brave, and you have money. You're telling me you'll let yourself be led away by a mess of swabs like them? As sure as God sees me, I'd sooner die." So Tom was refusing to join the pirates in their mutiny. I had found one of the honest hands. At that moment in the distance, I heard a horrid scream. Tom jumped when he heard the sound, but Silver didn't even blink an eye. He stood where he was, watching Tom like a snake about to spring. "John," cried the sailor, "in heaven's name, what was that?" "That?" returned Silver. "Oh, I reckon that was Alan." "Alan?" he cried. "Rest his soul. And as for you, John Silver, you've been a mate of mine as long as time, but you're a mate no more. You've had Alan killed, haven't you? Well, you can kill me too. I'd rather die like a dog than join you." And with that, he set off walking for the beach. Then John seized the branch of a tree, whipped the crutch out of his armpit and sent it flying through the air. It struck poor Tom right between the shoulders. His hands flew up, he gave a sort of gasp, and he fell. In the next moment, Silver was on top of him, burying his knife in Tom's body. As I watched this awful scene, the whole world seemed to swim before me in a whirling mist. I could hardly believe that a man had been killed right before my eyes. Now John put his hand into his pocket, brought out a whistle, and blew several blasts that rang far across the hot air. It was a signal. My fears awoke. More men would be coming. I began to crawl out of the thicket. Then I ran as I had never run before, but I didn't know what to do. I'd never get past the pirates without being seen. It was either death by starvation on this island, or death by pirates. Finally, I came to a part of the island where the trees grew wide apart. The air smelled fresher here too than near the marsh, and it was here that I saw something that made my heart nearly stop. All right, see you next week for the next 2 chapters. Good night.